Hey guys, Break here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make around 300,000 gold every day in just under 1 hour's playtime. So what you are seeing on screen at the moment is just a sped up version of my sort of daily routine and what I do to make this gold. And a little disclaimer, this is across multiple servers. I'm not making 300k on one server. Overall, across about 10 servers, I'm making 300k. Whilst you can make 300k a day on one server, it's obviously more difficult. You need to have a lot of control over different markets, and it will probably take you more time than what my method uses. Now, I actually recorded this video before and it turned out to be quite confusing and it wasn't really super obvious straight away, so I'm going to try and get straight into things and then we'll explain in more detail later on. So the basic thing I do is, number one, sell pets across multiple servers, which I have done videos in the past but got a bit more advanced now, and I will explain to you guys what I do. And then once I've got some gold across those different servers by selling the pets, I, number one, continue to sell the pets, buy new pets, resell them on other servers, so I continue to expand my pet market. And number two, I also buy and resell BoE items, particularly 110 raid BoE items. For those of you who recently watched my gold cap challenge, or 0 to 1 million gold challenge that I just completed, a lot of BoE resales was happening there for, small profits, and it added up to quite a lot of profits with hardly any effort. And that's basically what I do across multiple servers. The reason, again, at multiple servers, guys, if I were to do this on one server, then even if I bought tons and tons of BoEs, they'd still take a while to sell. But when you're doing it across multiple servers, you see sales every day on different servers, and it's just easier. But again, you guys are not going to want to start out on hundreds of different servers. You guys are going to start out on your own server, maybe a couple of servers, try it out, see if you see some success, see if you enjoy what I do, see if you enjoy these new techniques, and if it works out for you, you can start to expand. Don't just suddenly try and do this on multiple servers. It's not going to work out and you probably just get a bit confused, so start out small and expand like you should do with anything. So before I get into any proper explanations of what I do want to say this isn't anything new. People have been doing this for ages. There are probably other videos on it. A lot of the big WoW YouTubers either don't do this or don't make videos on it. There are some smaller YouTubers who do this kind of thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of Magicus, but he's one of the richest players in the game, if not the richest, at least on NA, I think, or is it EU? Can't really remember. I think it's EU actually. And he has a ton of gold. He does this. You can go check out his channel, but he's got quite a small channel. He doesn't do too many videos. There is also people like Hickons, and then a lot of people on Twitter who don't really do videos but do post their sales and post what they do. People like Vardis, people like Lazy Goldmaker, Graham Randall, loads of people like that. Anyway, that's enough initial disclaimer. Let's get into what exactly we do. Okay, so here we are in game, guys, on one of my servers. And as you can see, the past week or so, our sales have just been some pets and some BoE items. So how do we get to this point? In fact, just checked the auction house on this server and look what just sold for 150k. I bought it 15 hours ago for 90k. So that's 60k profit in less than a day. Very, very nice. So I will start off with explaining the BoE sales. As I said, there's two parts to this process. I have a whole pet market going on and I have a whole BoE sale market going on. But the same strategies can work for any market. I also sometimes flip legendary items. I also sometimes buy some crafted gear or buy some transmog that I see for low prices and I'll just relist it. So the same strategy works for almost any item, but I'm specifically talking about raid gear because that sells very well. So how do we make gold from flipping raid gear? So I do suggest you use an add-on, guys. That add-on is TSM. Whilst you can do this without an add-on, Magicus, as I was talking about earlier, that guy, he didn't use any add-ons, I'm pretty sure, for ages, and he made like 1 billion gold. So you don't need add-ons, and you can use other sort of external sources such as the Undermined Journal to check prices and all that. But add-ons are very useful, particularly Trade Skill Master. I'm not going to explain Trade Skill Master here, but it also helps you do nice searches. So I have a saved favorite search, which is 110 raid gear. If you guys just type this into your Trade Skill Master search window, this is going to search for any raid gear that's above 920 item level. For Antorus raid, 915 I believe is LFR, so this is basically anything above LFR unless LFR is Warforged. I don't really bother with anything LFR, but I usually go for items that are around 930 to 950 item level. So 930 to 950 is going to be your best point. I sometimes go 960, 970, and we've seen some amazing profits with those. And I know there's a lot of really good flippers out there who will do like 975 gear and flip it and make like 500,000 gold profit doing that kind of thing. And you can do that, guys, but please don't start off doing that. I suggest you start off doing very small flips to see if you can make some profit. As we saw at the start of this video, I did just record my daily routine and I did go through all my servers checking for any items, and I did buy a few. So right now we're probably not going to see any items because this is like 1 hour later. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to search your auction house for the gear and then look to see if there's anything super cheap. Now this again is when Trade Skill Master comes in, because it will show you the market value. I actually do this as a region market value. You can change it in the settings, but market value is also fine. And just check to see what's selling, if there's anything on for cheap that you can buy out and then put back on the auction house for more. Really simple stuff, guys. But this is another reason I like to use multiple servers, because often when you just go on one server and you search and try and find some good deals, there aren't going to be any. Yeah, there's not always good deals. In fact, more often than not, there's no good deals. That's why if you have multiple servers, eventually, once you get good at this, again, don't start off with multiple, but once you have multiple, you will likely see some deals every day. But if you're just on one server, maybe not every day, you'll see some deals. But if you check often, particularly during raid times and after raid times, when everyone's just done their raid in the evening and then posting any items they found, that's going to be your best time for finding deals. So again, the basic idea is if you find anything cheap, you buy it out, pick it up from your mail, you go right back to the auction house and you post it for what you think is a good price. Now, this is when experience and knowledge of the server comes in. So I suggest, guys, before you do anything with battle pets, with raid gear, with anything, you just look at your server for a few days and you get an idea of the prices. Again, with TSM, when you mouse over an item, it will show you the region market value. So that's the average it goes for across the whole of the EU or whole of NA. And market value is obviously your server for the past couple of weeks, I think. So a bit of a difference there, but region market value is really good because you know if your server's like really crazy prices, that might be a bit of a problem. But at the same time, server value does make a difference. For example, this is a rather low pop server, and I know that gear, even a 920 piece of gear, will sell for quite a lot. You know, the 945s will sell for like 150k, and on some of my other servers, which are quite high pop, they'll sell for like 50k. There's a big difference between servers. Again, you just need to practice and kind of understand what your server prices are like. So just moving to another server. Here I got a really good flip, Leggings of the Sable Stalkers. I bought 11 days ago for 50k, which was crazy. I just checked after raid times about 11 PM and there was some on for 50k. I bought them up and a day later sold them for 280k. So that's pretty awesome. I actually could have sold them for more, probably could have sold them for like 350 if I wanted to wait longer, but I was so happy I just wanted to flip it quick, and yeah, it was very successful. These were 960, I believe. As we just searched the auction house again for some raid gear, I do have to say it does take a while to search on some of the higher pop servers. That's why I mostly sell on low to medium pop servers, but the high pop servers can be good. They just take a while to search for things like battle pets and things like raid gear. And again, guys, this does not just have to be with raid gear, it can be with loads of other stuff. It can be with 101 twink items, which were really big near the start of the expansion. Recently, whilst they're still selling, they're not quite selling as good as they were, unfortunately, and it's a very slow market. So I don't suggest you start off buying 101 items, just stick to the raid gear. But again, you can buy loads and loads of stuff. You can buy the sort of necks if they have good stats on, the crafted necks and rings. You can buy Dark Moon decks, often those you can flip for huge profits. Like I said, the legendary crafted items, especially on low pop servers when there's only one on there, you can just buy it out and relist it. I've done that, bought it out for 50k, relisted it for 100k and it's sold the next day, so you can do this with almost anything. A thing to be careful of again is high pop servers particularly, they often have lots of the item. Okay, so We just searched on TSM and look, this thing came up 62% market value, 51k. Wow, so surely I can just buy that and relist it for 100k or whatever, since this is 60% of the market. Well, no, it doesn't really work like that, guys. We go down, look, and there's a 945 for 90k. There's a 930 for 60k, another 930 for 60k. If you ever get lost in TSM, you can always press item level and search by item level. Then that will show you the lowest item level on there. So this isn't actually such a good flip. It's not bad because it's 51k and the others on there are 61, 61 and 70. So, and they're all the same item. In fact, this has indestructible. That's another issue, guys. If an item has a socket or a tertiary stat like indestructible, it will show up as different on TSM, and you just have to do your research and make sure you're not buying something that actually there's pretty much the same item on the auction house, but just with indestructible for way less, and you don't rip yourself off. So here, I could still make the flip because I could buy this out for 50k and relist it for 60k. Yeah, and you do have to remember the auction house cut as well, which is 5%. So that would be 3k if I'm selling it for 60k. So 61, it would actually be more like 58. So I bought it for 51, resold it for 58. That's still 7k profit, guys. You often don't make double, triple your gold with these, especially for the smaller items. You often only make like 5, 10, 15, 20k profit. So you do have to invest quite a bit of gold to get some return, which is why I suggest only buying the sort of lower item level items such as 930. But we could easily buy this for 51k, relist it. We'd get 61 minus 5%, so like 58, and we've made a nice 7k profit. Now I do have a TSM group for BoEs, which you can get in my paste bin. The paste bin is linked in the description of the video as always. I do have a group for them, but it's not really that useful. It's only useful for checking for undercuts really. And I do suggest you post manually and you run your cancel scans manually, because TSM just can't tell. You know, someone might have undercut your 930 with a 935, but then it wouldn't show up as you being undercut because it's a different item. But actually you have been undercut, and surely the person would buy the 935, not the 930, and then you'd run into problems. So being manual is best for this kind of thing. Once you've bought it out, just go on, search, see what the prices are like, and then just go on Auctionator and sell. I do suggest that rather than trying to use TSM groups. At least at the start, it's a lot easier. Anyway guys, that is what I do to make most of my gold. However, I do it across multiple servers. Now how do I get gold on the multiple servers? Well, that's where the next stage, kind of the first stage, but we're talking about it second, whatever, which is the pet selling. What I do is I buy pets on one server, I learn the pets, I then go onto another server, create a new character, I put it in a cage, I cage the pet, and then I have that pet on the new server. Really, really easy. So I do again suggest an add-on for this, which is Rematch TSM Pet Values. So what you need is the Rematch add-on here, and you also need the TSM Pet Values add-on. Rematch TSM Pet Values. This is the one. It's very, very useful. What this lets you do, if you change the price to DB min buyout and then DB region market average like this, and then set your alerts like 2000 or 3000 or something, what that will do is if your server you are on has a higher than average region value, so the region value is this second number here, so 14k, 10k, 2700, and if it's higher than that, so it's got like 18k rather than 14, it will have some pluses, and that means that it's probably worth selling because you probably bought it for under region market and now you can sell it for above. So I will cage and resell. There is also a macro for caging pets, so you can just mouse over and cage them rather than having to right click in cage, which is this macro here. So if you are interested in that, then you can use that, but I guess it doesn't really take long to cage them either. But yeah guys, again we use TSM to search for pets. So again we don't use a shopping operation, we just type /battle pets, and that's going to search the auction house for all the battle pets in the quickest time possible. Though it often does still take a while. So again, once you've searched for battle pets, all the pets will come up. And here we have the percentage market value, and if we go onto TSM and then go on to shopping, we can change the market value price source to DB region market average, which I always have it at rather than DB market. So this will show the region price, which especially when you're buying pets is very, very important. Then I'll just scroll down and see what's cheap. For example, there is a Fragment of Desire here for 1k, and the region average is 3k. So if I were to buy it and go onto another server, hopefully I could get at least 3k for it, if not 4k, you know, quadruple my gold. Here's a Bronze Proto-Whelp, only 3k. Let's see if we can go down and find something that's a bit more profit. Teldrassil Sproutling, in fact I bought some of these earlier, but there is one for 10k, region market value is like 18k. So now we're starting to get some real serious profits. I mean, here we are, Spineclaw Crab, which is that super rare Timeless Isle Crab, I think. It's on the auction house for 245, region market of 390. You know, we could probably sell it on some servers for 500k. In fact, I have sold it on some servers for 500k, and we could double our gold. 250k, boom. Now, again, the problem with pets is they take a very long time to sell, which is why you can't just buy one pet, move it to a server, and try and wait for that to sell in order to get some gold. That's not going to work. Well, it could work, but it might take months. So the basic idea is to buy lots of pets, particularly the quite cheap ones. Sort of the ones that are below 10k sell twice as quick as the ones above 10k. You know, probably 3 times as quick. That's not a fact, but that's just something that's around about right. So if we were buying all of these that were like 4k, 3k, and reselling them on another server for like 10k, they'd at least sell a bit quicker, and hopefully within a few days, if we bought a few, we'd have some gold on that server. And that is basically that, guys. So every day, what I literally do is I log on to each of my servers. I'm on around 10 servers, like I say. I just cancel all my auctions. I don't even bother with the cancel scan because I know pretty much all of them are going to be undercut. I then go and repost my auctions. I then run 2 scans. I run my /battle pet scan to try and buy any cheap pets to sell on other servers. And I run my 110 raid gear scan to try and flip any BoEs. If there's something good, I'll buy them and then either resell the BoEs or just learn the battle pets. I'll then log on to my next server and do the same thing again, rinse and repeat. Takes under an hour every day, and like I say, I get crazy profits. I get at least a WoW token every day across the servers. Some of you might be saying, well, what's the point in having gold across so many servers? I want the gold on my main server. Well, that's true, but I like to expand across the servers, and every single super rich WoW player is on multiple servers because that's just by far the most efficient way to go about things. You can, of course, buy WoW tokens on the different servers and then put it to Battle.net balance. You can do that. I mean, I've done videos in the past on how to move gold between servers. It's not super easy, but it can be done. And at the end of the day, you can just buy some expensive pets. You know, say I've got 1 million gold on one server, I want to move it to my main server. I could buy sort of 3 TCG pets for like 300k each, come to my main server and resell them for like 300k each. Maybe even make a profit, but that's often not possible, but at least, you know, break even. So that's the kind of stuff you can do if you do want the gold on your main server. But to be honest, it's much more fun having gold on lots of servers. It means you can just expand and build up your empire. It's really fun. Again, guys, I don't really want you to start off going on loads of servers. It's going to be pretty tough to start off. You're not going to be making 300k a day when you start off. It's something to build up to. You know, there's people a lot better than me at this who make 1 million gold a day or more. But that wasn't really the point of this video. The point was just to show you guys what I do to make my gold and how you can potentially start to try and copy me, or at least start to try and expand your horizons and look at other ways of making gold rather than just your classic sort of farming, crafting, basic flipping, whatever. There's lots of other things you can do to make gold. That was the kind of point of this video. One last thing, I do have a battle pet group again, which is on my paste bin, and I do use TSM to post my battle pets. I don't use it often to post raid gear, sometimes I do, but like I say, it's usually better to post manually. But for the battle pets, I just use a basic TSM group. It ignores all the levels, so if it's level 25, it might still undercut a level 1, but I just prefer this. I find it easier to always be the cheapest and get quicker sales, and I don't deal with many level 25s anyway. I know some people do, but I don't. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, or at least found it interesting to know how I make my gold. Maybe you can try flipping some BoEs or selling some pets yourselves. Let me know if you have any success. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, see ya.